Short term, yes. Long term, you're on drugs if you think it is. And welcome to episode number 65 of the Promo UPFront Podcast, where we officially enter our golden years of retirement. That's right. I'm one of your hosts, Bill Petrie. With me, as always, the staff sergeant of skucamp, the general of the Joshua Tree, the captain of company culture himself, the one and only Kirby Hasseman. Kirby, how in the Palm Springs are you?
Doing great, actually doing great. We are here at skucamp, and just to set the table, they are changing things as we speak. Dishes are being dropped, chairs are being moved, but I wanted to have the logo behind me just to represent, but I'm doing super well. I'm sure we're going to talk about it. How are you, buddy?
Yep. I'm doing great. Yeah. So you're going to hear some ambient noise of people plate spinning and throwing forks and doing all manner of things that probably is stressing Kirby out right now. But I got to tell you, I know there's something that doesn't stress Kirby out, and that's that amazing AMP email service from our pals over at Promo Pulse. You know, we've talked about it a lot. You remember that retail looking and end user friendly email service that's super easy to use. How many steps is there, Kirby?
3 steps.
That's correct, Kirby. Thank you for knowing that. Choose your suppliers, upload your list, and choose your sending frequency. That's it. You literally set it and forget it like a Ron Popeil rotisserie chicken maker, and have consistent, beautiful outbound marketing all year round. It's a no-brainer. I mean, there's a lot of no-brainers in the world, Kirby, but this is one of them. I mean, the email looks amazing. 1, 2, 3, easy to get started. We just talked about that. And the results, it results in conversions, conversations, quote requests, sales, you name it. And I know you've had some great success with it, Kirby.
Yeah, I sure have. And one of the things that I would say is the return or the click-through rates are amazing. So one of the things that, you know, I think the open rates have been good and the click-through rates have been even more impressive, which is kind of the point of the exercise, right? Because open rates are one way to measure, but, you know, honestly, if you get people to click through and actually see, that's where you really see the results.
Absolutely. No question. Again, it's a no-brainer. So why don't you learn more? You know you want to. Head over to promopulse.io/amp. You're not going to be sorry you did. Kirby, you might want to move a little closer to your microphone while they're moving those chairs and plates around. I know we generally don't like to have the mic. Much better. I can hear the dulcet tones of one Kirby Hasseman in my ears. So
thank you. I appreciate the heads up.
Oh, thank you. I want to thank you for having the courage to do this podcast while you're in Palm Springs, California. It feels weird. I'm wearing my skucamp shirt because I'm there in spirit, but
yes, you are.
Can't be there this week. Just didn't work out, unfortunately, but watching it all on social media. Kirby, you have the upfront portion of our podcast this morning. Now, I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer. I'm not the brightest bulb on the tree. I don't know what other analogy I can use, but I think I know what you might bring up.
Yeah, for sure. One of the things that we love doing, and you've done it on location before, but anytime we can kind of insert ourselves into the heart of an industry event, I think it's really cool. skucamp started, technically, I think, you know, the actual presentations and everything started today. Yesterday was check-in. Dude, I got to be honest. I've got a bunch of notes, but the number one takeaway is it feels so good to be back. It is so many smiles. And honestly, it was funny. They sent out a communication in advance. That's one thing that they do super well is communicate. And they were like, hey, be respectful of others. Not everybody is comfortable with certain things. Don't just run up and hug somebody you might not know. Dude, there are hugs all around. Oh, yeah. It is a really, really cool, and it's part of that community anyway. But to the actual event, one of the big takeaways, and I thought you'd appreciate it because we've been talking so much about supply chain. They actually had an hour-long discussion. Catherine Graham interviewed CJ Schmidt, Jeremy Lott, and Chris Anderson from HPG, specifically about the supply chain and why it is what it is and what are the challenges and what predictions do they have. Dude, it was must-see TV. Like it was
All right.
so cool. So yeah, the whole thing has been really good so far, and there's another day coming.
Yeah, it's been fun, watching a little on social media, kind of shoving the FOMO down in pretending I don't miss being there. I've
been saying all week, Bill is having the biggest case of promo FOMO he's had in a long time. That would be my guess.
I'm not a very happy Billy, but that makes for a good podcast. That means I'm bitter. I'm angry. We should tell people this is an actual late night version of our podcast,
right.
Which means we're both having a cocktail. I know you're having a Lagunitas IPA. I'm having a kind of a little invention of mine. It's vanilla vodka and Coke. I love vanilla Coke.
Okay.
And it's very, very dangerous, very good.
That makes sense. Yeah. We've had a lot of wonderful different beverage options here. I was very proud of myself. I made it up for 6:30 run club this morning.
Good for you.
Yeah. So
good for you.
It was bad when I got there and everybody was like, really? I didn't think you'd make it here today. I was like, what did I do?
Yeah. We all know Tipsy Kirby. We all know Tipsy Kirby, but very few organizations really put on an event like Common Skew, and
they do.
Knowing that they've been kind of chomping at the bit to do this. The last in-person event they had was SKUCon in 2020, which you and I were both at. So, I mean, that's a year and a half, and it's something, they really changed the game in our industry on how education events not only should be, but could be.
Right.
And they're continually evolving it, and it's fun to watch. Like I said, I've got a serious case of FOMO. I've gotten some nice texts today from a couple people, and just like, hey man, miss you, not here. And it's just, it feels weird, but
just is what it is.
Goes
right?
on. The show must go on.
Well, it was interesting because you probably saw I did the video going to Joshua Tree with Brian Porter and Stephanie Thompson, and talking to Brian, because this was his first skucamp event, and I was like, it's a different kind of feel. It's a different kind of event. Everybody's wearing flip-flops. It doesn't feel like a traditional event, and that's what makes it really cool.
No question. Well, I know you're having a great time, so I want to thank you for carving some time out to do this while you're there. So one of the things we're always very transparent here. Yeah, we always share when we go outside of our own rules and share topics. I did one today.
Okay. Yeah.
Because, there's not a ton going on in the promotional products industry that we haven't already discussed. So I thought it'd be fun if we could create our own promotional products dream team with something we all talk about in those quiet shadows and those moments at the bar. Who would you hire if you could? So here's the name of this topic. It's Promo Dream Team for a Distributor or Agency Model. Okay. And we're gonna go step by step in this. I hope you had time to look at that email.
P.S. Thank you so much for giving it to me, because that would have been a really hard one off the top of my head. So
I would not blindside you except for the party in the back, which I will be blindsiding you today.
Okay.
So
cool. How do you want to do it?
It's really, who would you hire in these specific roles? So basically, I think the way I'm looking at this is, you're an investor. You're not going to really have any hands in the business. And the only rule is, I can't name anything Kirby would do, but I can name something I would like to do, and Kirby can do the same. So Kirby can't name anything for me, but if there's something Kirby wants to do in his organization, he can. So we're not that way. We're not blowing smoke up each other's skirt, so to speak.
Got it. Yep. Okay. So do you want to go? Do you go one at a time?
Let's go one by one. Let's start with the CEO. Kirby, who do you got?
Okay, let me pull it up here. Sorry, I'm doing.
So while you're pulling it up, I can go.
No, CEO Catherine Graham.
I had Catherine Graham too.
Well, we are, again, these are one of the things that we've talked about in the past are crushes, like brand crushes. I would say Common Skew is one of those for me, and so you're gonna get a heavy dose of some Common Skew folks, because I just think they do it right. So yeah.
No question. I had Catherine Graham as well. She has really set a tone, and she strikes that really cool balance of innovation and elegance, which I think is an incredibly difficult tightrope to walk.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Kirby, CFO, who do you got? Chief Financial Officer.
I'm not sure if this is even his role, but the person who popped into my head was Robert Fivash.
Okay, like that. I like that.
Yeah, different. Right? Like I was one that was like, this is a person who I admire brand fuel and their organization. And I don't get the sense that Danny is the CFO. I would guess Robert is more in that role. And I respect him a ton.
So I think that's Bobby Five, as I like to call him. Bobby Five is a great choice. I chose Bob McLean.
Oh yeah, he popped in my head too. That's a good one.
So I picked Bob McLean. He is a numbers guy, but he's also very affable and very approachable, which I think is a very difficult quality for a CFO to have.
Love it. Love it.
All right, okay. Kirby, COO, your Chief Operating Officer. Who do you got? Who do you got?
I'm going Brandon McKay from Snugs.
Nice. Very nice.
Okay. Like that one?
I have Brett Schaefer from Soapbox.
Ooh, that's a good one too. I like it. This is fun, by the way. I like this
yeah,
list.
I don't think we've ever actually done it like this before.
Yeah, so this
and I think we're gonna do a supplier one down the road, by the way.
Ooh, okay. I like it.
All right, your CTO, your Chief Technology Officer, very important. As you know, as Paul Bellantone would say, the pace of change is never slower than it is today.
Yeah.
Who do you got?
So I'm going to go again. This is almost be a downgrade for him right now, and I've had a chance to spend some time with him this week. But I'm going to go Dale Denham. That's the guy I think of when I think of, sort of weighing, leadership with the technology. So Dale Denham is somebody I respect a bunch.
I went Eric Granada, now of Brand Fuel, formerly of Robin Promotions. I went Eric Granada because he is a quirky, weird thinker, and I mean that in every positive sense of what I just said. He is so great. So Eric Granada from Brand Fuel.
Cool, love it.
All right, Kirby, Chief Sales Officer.
Yeah, so I actually went back and forth on this one. And again, another person. What's great about doing this list is I am around a bunch of folks in the industry.
I pictured you, by the way. I pictured you in a session today, kind of going, all right, Petrie wants me to do that.
That's right.
There. Who's that over there?
So I'm going to go Brian Porter. Brian Porter if I'm setting that up for a Chief Sales Officer.
I went Danny Rosen.
That's a good one.
To me,
you'll hear his name later from me.
Yeah, and I'm sure I love Brian, but I think no one balances that care and gravitas.
That's great.
With the ability to really ask and close a sale than Danny. All right. Your Chief Marketing Officer, Kirby, who do you got?
I'm going Dana Zezzo, one of the OGs of social media. I think he manages all of that really well, from event planning, from a marketing perspective, social media. He actually gets it and does it. And so he would be my Chief Marketing Officer.
Your Chief Marketing Officer. I love it. I picked myself. I know probably that sounds really haughty.
No. That's a really good one. I wasn't allowed to pick
myself. No, you were not, but I was allowed to pick me. And you know me well enough. This is hard for me. I'm not one to pat myself on the back, but I really, Kelsey and I were talking today in a meeting that I think we've really hit our stride with marketing, and people really understand where we sit in the promotional products industry. So I picked myself because I want to do it. I want to do the branding and marketing.
Love it. No, I think that is. Again, we weren't allowed to pick each other. Those were your rules. And so, but I think,
but you can pick yourself.
Yeah. But again, I think that I would do a pretty good job in that role.
You
but
would.
if I'm an investor and I'm not there, I would go back with Dana.
Okay. Content. Who do you got? It's your Chief Content Officer.
Again, can't choose you. Certainly I think that
you would choose yourself.
I would fill that role pretty well, but I actually, again, looking around the room today, Bobby Lee comes to mind. Again, I think the most thoughtful writer in our industry. And he's just a smart guy.
I took Bobby out of it just because I thought you would mention Bobby.
That's fair.
Again, my own rules preclude me from picking you, which I would pick. Nick Latour is who I chose.
Ooh, Nick's a good one. Yeah, I like that one.
HPG now.
Yeah. All right. So social media.
Social media.
Okay.
What do you got?
So I actually picked two here. I hope that's all right. One who I actually have hired to do this is Skylar Hasseman. Right. Okay. So I put my money where my mouth is. That is the person who is kind of taking our social media up a level. So she's there. And then again, looking around the room, Allie Brunton from commonsku does a really, really good job. Very thoughtful about social media.
I love the fact that you're there because you're picking people. It's so kind of, not that it's easier, but it's interesting because you can look around the room and go, wow, sometimes you forget what people do. Yes. You know the person. So I went with, for social media, I was going to go with charity. Okay. I was like, that's the obvious choice. Yeah, that's the obvious choice. Yeah. And this is no disrespect to charity because what she does is amazing.
For sure.
Melissa Newman from ASI.
That's a good one too. Yeah. I thought of her. Yeah.
All right. So we decided, or I decided, we have 4 sales slots to fill.
Okay.
So how many salespeople? Do you have the 4 salespeople?
I do. You want me to just run them
Go
down?
for it.
Okay.
Yeah, go run yours and I'll run mine.
Okay, cool. So again, this is where the amazing opportunity to see all these people. Mitch Silver. Mitch is a guy who is super thoughtful. Every time I have a conversation with him, I feel like I've been smarter because of it. And I've had a chance to talk to him today.
He's such a good human, and I love spending time with him. That's one of the guys I actually thought of today. I'm like, damn, I don't get to see Mitch this year.
Yeah. So Mitch, Johanna Gottlieb is an obvious one for me.
I had her.
Yeah,
I've got her.
Yep. And that's a good one. Right. And so that's when I said Danny Rosen, right? I would have him on my sales team, whether he was the chief sales officer or what. And then Brian Gill. Brian Gill's a guy I've got to know through the Common SKU community. And he's a good dude as well.
Okay. So I picked Nadav Raviv.
That's a good one.
Of my salespeople. Yes. He is such a great guy. This past weekend, we were both in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. We were tried to connect. It just didn't work out. And I'm so bummed. I wanted him to meet Sandy and actually Mitch. It just didn't work out. But Nadav Raviv, Sarah Webb.
Yeah, that's a totally
Johanna of In Tandem. Johanna Gottlieb, which we mentioned from Axis, powered by Halo. And one who a lot of people probably don't know, but this guy is a closer, and it's Bill Feldberg from Something Inc. Such a good dude, too, a really, really good human. So that's kind of fun. I really liked this topic. Like this. Yeah. So I would love some feedback from both our listeners in Wisconsin. If you would share with us who you would hire to run your promo dream team and distributor agency. Kirby, do you have another topic for us, please?
Yes, I will do my best to speak over the mic check here. So forgive me on that.
You're doing great.
Okay. So this is kind of a weird one. So supply chain has been a conversation. Obviously, we've kind of talked about it, and to a little bit, we've talked it to death. But this was a thought I've had, and I want your perspective on this. One of the things that could be a positive long term, if you can possibly come up with a positive about the supply chain, is does it give us the opportunity to reset customer expectations? Because one of the challenges that we've had is that, as the technology has gotten better and our suppliers have gotten better and 24 hours, we've trained customers to do shit at the last minute. And so is this the opportunity where we say, hey, this is going to, now you have to plan. By God, I can't believe it. You're going to have to plan 3 weeks in advance. Is that the positive that comes out of this? I'm curious to know what you think.
Short term, yes. Long term, you're on drugs if you think it is. As soon as
I am out in California.
You are out in California. So here's the deal. Yeah, I think in the short term, it's, again, we talk about how this is such an educational opportunity to inform our clients of how the supply chain works, right? I always
educate ourselves on how the it was fascinating how they were talking today, and I was like, well, I thought I knew what I was talking about. Those guys put on a clinic of
no, I'm sure. I'm thank you for increasing my FOMO. Appreciate that. So it's like, the old joke of a little kid goes to a grocery store, and they see all these cuts of beef, and they don't realize it comes from a cow, an actual living thing, right? And I think we've had that opportunity both to educate ourselves, as you so FOMO mentioned, and then educate our clients in turn. I think as things begin to stabilize, I'm not going to say normalize, I'm going to say stabilize, because here's the thing. It's unpredictable right now.
Totally.
We don't know anything. It's not, hey, it's delayed 4 weeks, and in 4 weeks it actually shows up. It's just delayed. We hope it comes in 4 weeks, right?
100%. Yeah.
Once things stabilize, then we'll have an opportunity to level set expectations. And it's important for each distributor, I think, to have the conversation with their clients of what we've learned from all this is how fragile the supply chain is.
Right.
And so understand there may be instances where we can't get things as quickly as we used to. It's going to take time.
Yeah.
By the same token, why I said you're on drugs, if you think it's going to level set expectations differently, is the second Amazon starts delivering in 2 days again, which for the most part they are. They're very good about telling you on their website if they're not. again, that's what's changed. We are a reactive industry. We have reacted to the public's not only desire, but their demand. I want it now. I want it yesterday. I want it 2 days ago, and it better be right. And so we have to level set that, but it's always going to be a struggle. Always going to be a struggle.
So as a side note, one of the takeaways, and I thought it'd be good to share with you, having a prediction from Jeremy Lott, CJ Schmidt, and Chris Anderson of when there with the stabilized word is what triggered me on this. I'm like, could there be 3 better people to make the prediction of when it will stabilize?
No.
I'll share it real quick.
Can I guess? Since please, I wasn't there, I want to guess. Stabilize and normalize. I'm going to guess third quarter 2022.
Okay. So it was interesting because there was 3 different answers. Okay. So Jeremy
also
was
3 different manufacturers of different products.
Yeah, totally. Jeremy was the most optimistic. He said that essentially in 2022, it will begin to, and then essentially his thing was it'll get better all year long. And so like the end of first quarter, it will start to, and again, he's speaking from Sanmar, and then it will get better as the year. And part of his thing is that they were behind on inventory, and that's part of the challenge, right? CJ said that he's taking the cues from the automotive industry, and he says 2023 quarter, I forget which quarter he mentioned, but he said that's at best. Chris Anderson was a little bit more with Jeremy, said sort of midway through 2022.
So about where I was.
Yeah. So it was interesting to see like those predictions. And I think that nobody's in a better spot to make those predictions than them.
Right. I think you're going to see, I think go ahead and order another beer. I think you're going to see spikes and dips, right? I mean, there's no clean line of improvement because we just don't know what's going on. And I think it depends. I think there are some things you're gonna be like, wow, I have no problem getting X. Yeah. But why can't I get product Y? And I think that's what you're gonna see. So your mileage may vary. Yeah, your mileage may vary. All right, Kirby. One thing I want to talk about quickly, and then we'll get to the game. The world we talked about on the podcast, the world's really shifted in terms of how we work. Certainly North America, most people do have some sort of, at very least, hybrid work model, if not fully working at home model. How do you create a company culture remotely? And that's a very difficult thing to do. It's something I tried to do when I was at Promo Corner. It was not an easy thing to do. And I wanted to get your take on that. Do you have any tips or thoughts? And I have the benefit of doing, creating the topic. So do you have any, hi, Dave Schultz. I can hear his voice.
Yeah, we got Mark, we got everybody. It's happening here. It's good.
All right, man. Tell them to come around and say hi.
Yeah.
And come around and say hi. Oh, there's Mark Graham. Wow, Mark Graham, the biggest celebrity of them all.
Hey, he's
Mark
got the OG
Graham.
shirt.
Yeah, I know,
he's got the OG shirt.
Yeah, right.
There we go. We're gonna have to make sure we get one of these to Tennessee.
Yeah, I'll make it happen.
Yeah. Sorry for ruining your show.
Not at all.
You didn't.
Sorry for ruining the show.
Yeah.
You didn't. Miss you guys.
Bill.
He says
we
he
miss
misses
you.
you.
We miss you.
Yeah. I got the headphones in, so we can't hear you. So sorry.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. See you, buddy.
I know. I just like screaming in your ear. I know. You couldn't listen to me.
Okay. So tips on culture.
Thoughts? Do you want thoughts on that? You want me to go with mine?
So what I would say is super quick thoughts on it are I actually struggle with the idea of trying to create an amazing company culture. Doing it. Thank you so much.
I didn't say amazing. I said a company culture because I agree with you. I think it's almost impossible to create an amazing company culture when everybody's all in.
Well, I think that the folks from Common Skew, and I think there are companies that do it really well. I'm not that guy. I actually couldn't wait to get everybody back in the building.
Right.
Because that has to do with what I like. It's not that it can't be done. It's that I enjoy the face-to-face interaction. Now there's a ton of ideas I have for that. But it only if it works with our company culture. This was a conversation we had today here. And it was like, I tell people all the time, like when they interview with me, if you are offended by cursing, you should not work here. Right. Like, and because we like to have fun. We like to be irreverent.
Right.
So in person, I can give you, but it's
Okay.
tough, I would think.
But to your point with commonsku, and I agree, they have a great company culture, even though most people are remote. Whoa, that's a big picture of Lagunitas there for you, ice cold. What I just explained for those of you who listen is Kirby showed his fresh beer. It's a Lagunitas IPA, but in a pitcher, a water
Of
pitcher
ice.
of water and ice, which will
Yeah.
make it nice and cold for him.
Yeah, it's amazing.
commonsku had a culture before that is based in a work environment. So I think it's easy to propagate that once you're sent home.
Right.
Right.
I agree with that. Yeah, they already had a sort of a piece that translates to that.
Right. So a couple things I just thought of is one is communication, right? And that's whether you're in the office or out of the office. You can't over communicate when people are away from each other.
I agree.
Everybody feels like they're in a vacuum, but by the same token, you have to emphasize employee contribution to success. And it's not financial targets,
right?
It's not, you're helping us hit our financial goal. It's, you have a positive impact on the organization because of what you do.
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing to really put out there. That's a hard thing to express, but you have to be intentional about it. Go ahead. You want to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to say that was one of the presenters today talked about that and how he is sort of reshaping how they do their sales structure and all that stuff. It's like so they had somebody who was great in product knowledge, but they weren't great with the customer. And so he's redirected her to just be in doing presentations and helping it's fascinating because that's not what everybody does.
No. And what you have to do is look at how, because the dynamic has changed, people's skill sets may not translate to the job they had before. Right?
Yeah. Great point.
It might be. And so I thought of, you really need to encourage collaboration.
Yeah.
My vodka and cola, my vanilla vodka and cola went down the wrong way. You have to really encourage collaboration and not in meeting form. Nobody likes Zoom meetings. They're a beat down. I got to get dressed up. But encourage collaboration where you're working with someone. Get on that Zoom call. You can see the nonverbal communication.
Totally.
And I will tell you something that's helped us here at Brand of 8. There are so many times where Kelsey and I will be on a Zoom call. She's working on her thing. I'm working on my thing, but we're like in the same room. So we can stop for a second. I can tell her a funny thing about what happened at Mitch or Drew or whatever. And you can have that kind of thing, or I can say, hey, can you take a look at this? Am I going the right direction here? What do you think? And you build that collaboration where it would be like if you had an office and someone walked in, hey, you got a minute. So,
and I'll tell you, we did that when we first went home, and we did the literally daily meetings, and it became a grind after a while, but it was amazing how it took a long time before we got tired, because we missed that.
But these aren't meetings. These are just, hey, I'm working, you're working. We're working on maybe the same thing or working on separate things, but I want your input. And it creates that vibe of I'm working. And,
I agree.
The last thing is about meetings. Make them meaningful. Have a clear agenda, context, and rules. Start them on time and end them on time. Do not over meeting your people.
Yeah,
that's
worst. Fair. Yeah, one of my rules is no agenda, no attenda.
Yeah. Well, and my rule is if you don't have a speaking role in the meeting, you're not in the meeting.
That's interesting.
Seriously.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I dig it.
All right. So I know you're chomping at the bit to go enjoy the rest of commonsku. So we've got a quick game for you. You were at Joshua Tree. This is the party in the back. You were at Joshua Tree National Forest on Sunday, which I want to hear about at a time of my choosing when we have more time to chat. But I think when I think of Joshua Tree, of course, I think of the seminal U2 album, The Joshua Tree. And I thought, okay, the game is I'm going to give you a band and I want the definitive album in your mind by that band. If you don't know the album, a definitive song is fine. So I'm letting you off the hook in a big, I'm not going to,
I'm not as good at the music trivia as you are, but I'll do my best.
That's okay. So I want either the definitive album, if you know it, or definitive song. So when you hear this band's name, what album do you think of, or what song do you think of? And this is going to be this is not going to be hard here.
Okay, cool.
Don't think. All right. We'll start off easy. Guns N' Roses.
Well, Appetite for Destruction, I think, is one of the best rock albums in the history of rock albums. So, and P.S., it was their opening album. So I believe it was the best introduction album ever. That would be my answer. That's again.
I'm glaring at you.
Yeah, I know.
Other bands on this list, sir.
And again, there's a lot of them, but it came up at a definitive time in my life, so I think that has something to do with it. But that's an incredible album.
No, absolutely. The music that moves you absolutely has to do with your place.
When I was 16.
Yep. All right. The Rolling Stones.
So I'm not great about the
song
albums,
is fine.
but I would say
song
Satisfaction is the song, right? So and it's Can't Always Get What You Want is actually one that I like the best, but I think Satisfaction is the song.
So I'm going to interject occasionally here.
Yeah,
my
please.
favorite Rolling Stones song, and the one I think of is "Get Off My Cloud." I absolutely love that song.
Yeah,
it's like, hey, I'm in a good mood. Get off my cloud. You bring your bad mood elsewhere.
Yeah,
man.
I love it.
All right, the Beatles.
Oh man. Okay, so the White Album is my favorite, and I'm a big Beatles fan. Their favorite, but just really quickly, the song is "Hey Jude."
Okay, perfect. Led Zeppelin.
I am drawing a blank on their. I was never a big Zeppelin guy, so I mean Robert Plant and those guys they're super talented, but I was never I didn't love Plant's voice. Like he has a distinctive voice, and he was never my thing. So, what's their seminal song? It's the
you're talking about Stairway to Heaven.
Yes, that's Stairway to Heaven.
Okay,
again, even that song for me, it's fine.
For me, I always like their acoustic stuff. Ramble On for me
would make sense. I think
is good. All right, Rush.
Yeah, see, it's funny. So Robert Plant's voice I didn't like. I never liked Rush. Like that is probably that's the band that everybody loves, and their drummer's amazing and they're musically wonderful. I don't love Rush, so I couldn't quote you a song from
I'd
them.
be real careful about saying that a bunch around of Canadians.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just don't like his voice.
I mean, his voice is a little grating.
I mean, it is what it is, but that's just not my jam.
But I think Moving Pictures is their seminal album. All right, Beach Boys, seminal album or song?
Good Lord, how am I not having like Surfing
you
Safari?
Seem like a Good Vibrations guy.
Yeah, Good Vibrations is really good. I'd say Surfing Safari is one, and then there's one other that really. But
I'm a big Go ahead.
Oh, so Beach Boys is one of those songs one of those bands that it's like every time you go to the beach and you got to hear Beach Boys.
Yeah.
They're one of those that has been overdone for me. I think they're really talented. They're really good. But so, yeah, I would say Good Vibrations is good.
God Only Knows is my favorite Beach Boys song. Just does it for me. Metallica, or as I think you pronounce it, Metallica.
No, Metallica. Metallica is one of my favorite bands. So I'm going to go Nothing Else Matters is one of the best songs ever. And you don't have to take that from me. You can listen to Sir Elton John, who said that. He actually said it's one of the best songs, and he got to play piano on it with them. I love them. And that's from the Black Album.
Yeah, you and Elton are wrong because their best song is Creeping Death. All right, Kirby, AC/DC.
Oh, you shook me all night long for sure.
Can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, so my wife will love this. So one of my favorite memories of all time is she was at a class reunion one time, and Amy, Amy, she doesn't drink a lot, she doesn't go party a lot, and she was having a great time. Nothing stupid, but she was out dancing. And at one point she lifted up her leg to play her leg guitar and totally fell down. I have that on video. It was amazing.
I think we should post that, Kirby. All right, let's go a couple more. I've got a whole bunch here, but I'm going to make it easy for you. Let's go Beastie Boys. Let's go a little rap for you. That's right in your wheelhouse.
Yeah, I love Beastie Boys.
License to Ill. Can't go wrong
License
with
to Ill
album.
is one of the. I think again, that's one of my favorite albums of all time.
Yeah.
So literally, you've got the Fight for Your Right to Party is the one they released.
Yeah.
That song's fine. Actually, the rest of the album is is so good.
I'll push back on you. I think Sabotage is a much Paul's Boutique is the album, but Sabotage, that I love Paul's Boutique. I love Sabotage. It's a great song. All right. Let's go a few more real quick. REM.
So God, there's one song. It's almost have to sing it.
I'm not singing it. Don't look at me.
No, it's literally. I can actually tell you, it's E minor, D, and C.
The Finest Work song.
No. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank for the name of the song, but it's
so
one of their.
That's a hard pass on the REM.
Yeah,
folks.
sorry.
Let's go. Let's go. Motley Crue. Motley Crue.
I love Motley Crue. By the way, have you ever seen the movie? The Dirt.
Oh, The Dirt. I read the book. I saw the movie maybe 17 times. Are you kidding me? Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I really like Motley Crue a lot. I tell you the one, and it's probably not appropriate or whatever, but the song that literally every single time that comes on is Girls, Girls, Girls is just one of those fun songs that, like, if I'm running or doing whatever, but I love the Crue.
3 more, Kirby. Jimmy Buffett. That's your jam. That's your boy. What is his either album or song?
I mean,
he's more of a song guy. Because,
but the album,
frankly, he's got so many duds.
Yeah,
he's got one good song and album. So
yeah, no, Songs You Know by Heart is the album, because that's sort of his greatest hits. I would say, he's one of the. I mean, the one that you say is Margaritaville, right? Mm-hmm. That's the one everybody knows. I actually love One Particular Harbor. That's probably my favorite song from Jimmy Buffett.
And I love Jimmy Buffett too. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of a greatest hits guy when it comes to Jimmy Buffett, but Come Monday.
Oh, it's great. It's his first
one of my favorite songs.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Zach Brown Band. Also, I know you're a huge fan of the Zach Brown Band. Album.
I won't know the name of the album, but the Toes in the Water. Toes. I think it's Ass in the Sand. That's probably my favorite. Yeah, Toes. That is, and then Chicken Fried is one of those songs that you just can't help but sing along to.
Yeah, it's a fun song.
I love Zach Brown.
Kirby. You know what this one is? Van Halen.
Okay. Yeah. So 1984, right? Would be the seminal album. Am I wrong about that? Like, because
it's your list, Kirby. Panama, it's your Kirby. There are no wrong answers.
Okay. But that's a great album, right?
Yeah, it's a great album. It's a great album.
So Jump, you were telling me that you will leave for Jump. I love Jump. That's just a fun song that I enjoy, but I actually love Panama off that album. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah. Jump's a little overplayed. Panama's a great song. The sound on that album is great. I still think when it's Van Halen 1 or Fair Warning. Both of those hold up so well. They sound just as fresh today as they did the day they came out. 84 is starting when Eddie got into the whole synthesizer. It's one of those breaker words for me. Like statistics.
That's tough. Yeah. You killed it on the statistics.
He started getting into the synthesizers, which unfortunately kind of dates the music a little bit. But so I love either Van Halen 1 or Fair Warning, but I've got another Fair Warning to give you. Fair Warning, Kirby.
Nice transition.
I don't know if you know this. Thank you very little. I don't know if you are aware of Promo Pulse's AMP email service. That's right. We've talked about it before. It's so great. We've talked so much about it. It's that retail looking end user friendly email, super easy to use. We've talked about the 3 steps, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, very easy to get started. You select your suppliers, you upload your list, you pick your frequency. The emails look absolutely amazing, and it results in conversions, quote requests, sales. I mean, honestly, that's what you want. This is a great little, very cost-effective outbound marketing machine for you. So you want to learn more, head over to, it's a no-brainer. Kirby, is it a brainer or a no-brainer?
It would be a no-brainer, buddy.
That is a non-brainer from one Kirby Hasseman. That's right. So head over to promopulse.io/amp. Learn more about it, click the buttons, fill in your credit card information, set it and forget it, and watch your business just grow exponentially, kids.
Amazing. Speaking of amazing, Kirby, it was amazing to speak with you through the miracle of the dual line Comrex all the way there in Palm Springs, California. I hope you have a great rest of SKU Camp and a great rest of the week. See you, buddy.